Hi, Darlene here. Welcome. Welcome if you're new. Welcome back if you're not new. Today, I'm going to be in the kitchen. Yes, again. And I'm going to attempt to make cinnamon rolls. Word of warning, whenever I make any yeasty type bread, they don't always turn out the way I want them to. But I'm going to give it the good old try anyway. So let's start. First thing I did, I measured a half a cup of milk in my adorable little kitty cat half cup measuring cup. And I put it in here and warmed it for 15 seconds in the microwave. So it's warm, not hot. And I am going to put into it 1 teaspoon. That says half teaspoon, so I'll do 2 of these. And this yeast is a tad old, so I'm going to put just a little extra and mix that in there. Make sure it's mixed in good. And we're going to let that sit for 5 to 10 minutes. Be right back. I forgot something. While that's sitting there, it also needs the sugar. And we're going to put in 3 tablespoons of white sugar. This is a 1 tablespoon, so I need 3 of these. 1, 2, 3. And we'll mix that in. That helps the yeast to be more active. So now we're going to let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes. And I'll be right back. Okay. My recipe calls for 1 1/2 cups all-purpose flour. This is 1 cup. And this is a 1/2 cup. And then it says to have 1/4 of a cup of additional flour on hand. So I put that right there. We need 1/2 of a teaspoon of salt. And 2 tablespoons of melted butter. But before I put that in, I don't have a stir, so let me get into here. Okay. Let's stir what we've got here. Okay, I'm going to pour in my yeast and milk mixture. Then it calls for 2 tablespoons of melted butter. So I think a little bit more there. I think that's 2 tablespoons. And I will warm that up. Hold on a second. Okay, there we go. My 2 tablespoons of melted butter. Okay, let me stir what I've got here. for 1 egg at room temperature. My eggs are really, really small. So I'm actually going to put 2 of them in here because that'll equal 1 egg. And a half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Mine is pure vanilla extract. A half a teaspoon. And I got a little generous with that. That's okay. I love the taste of vanilla. Okay, I'm going to put some of my flour on my board here, and then I'm going to put this out onto the top of that. The dough right at the moment is quite sticky. Make sure I have everything out of the bowl here. Those egg yolks made my dough quite yellow. That looks really rich. Okay, so let's put some of this on top of here so my hands don't get too sticky. And we'll start kneading this. I like the way this dough feels. It's soft and subtle. Subtle, is that how you say that word? S-U-B-T-L-E, subtle. Looks like that was pretty much the right amount of flour to put there to keep it from being sticky all over the place. And we'll just knead this for a few minutes. Forgot to take my rings off. I need to clean them anyway. They're gonna go in some ring cleaning stuff here in a little while. Right now I got flour stuck down in there. Okay, I think I've probably kneaded this enough. I'm going to go back into my bowl here. Make sure that's not too messed up in there. And spray the bowl. And spray. We'll spray that. Okay. Then I'm going to cover my bowl and put it in a warm place for an hour or so to let it rise. I'll check on it after about 30 to 45 minutes and see how it's doing. While we're waiting for the bread to rise, my recipe is going to call for 1/4 of a cup of brown sugar. Well, I need to make brown sugar. I don't seem to have any. I know I have some somewhere, but I don't know where it is. So I am going, this is actually monk fruit. It has the same kind of consistency as sugar. And then I'm going to put some molasses in it to turn it into brown sugar. It's going to take that a while to go down. My jar of molasses is getting close to the bottom, so it takes a little while for it to flow down. We'll see if that's enough. Okay, I stuck that in the microwave for 20 seconds, and that made the molasses the right consistency so that it would, so that I could get it into the brown sugar, into the sugar. It looks and feels and tastes just like brown sugar. So we'll set that aside for later, for when my dough has risen. Okay, I'm back. It's been just a little over an hour, and this has risen. So what I'm going to do, I've got a silicone mat here, and I'm going to move it this way and kind of get this. I want this spread out. And I should, well, I was going to say I should preheat the oven, but I'll do that in a little bit. This has to rise again, so. It smells good. Okay, this should do what I want it to. Okay, I'm gonna bring the butter over here. Okay, I'm going to use this bowl that had butter in it, and calls for 2 tablespoons of butter, softened, and this butter is pretty soft already, so. And 1/8 of a teaspoon of, no, sorry, 1/2 of a teaspoon, that's what this is, of cornstarch. I just did the wrong thing. So let me get a spoon and take that out. I will put that in here. That was not the cornstarch, and it is not going to hurt anything. There's not enough in there for that to affect the flavor. This is baking soda, not cornstarch. Let me get the cornstarch. Hold on. Okay, now I've got the right thing. Okay. It's a good thing that was all in one spot and I could get the baking soda taken out of there. And I need to move this over so you can actually see what I'm doing. Okay, so then got the butter, 1/4 of a cup of brown sugar. Let me move this big spoon because the little one I think will work better in here. And that's about 1/2 of what I've got here. And 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. And 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. Pull it off there. We'll do a little extra. Okay. I believe I have everything that's in the recipe. We'll get this all mixed together. Okay, I put that in the microwave for 15 seconds to get it a consistency that I could spread. It's kind of dark, but that's okay. I'm wondering if I need more butter in it to make it the kind of gooey that I want. It tastes good, but yeah, I'm going to add more butter. Okay, I have to decide what kind of a pan. At first I was going to use a cookie sheet, and then I realized I had a cake pan that would work perfectly. So I got that down, and then I put some cooking spray on it, as you can see. And hubby came in and was talking about something. Okay, I sprayed down my little pan here, and as I cut these off, I will put them in there. I'm making these just a little over an inch, maybe an inch and a half wide. You can kind of tell. I continue to cut these until I have my pan full. At first I used the knife that you use to cut pieces of pie out of the pie plate, but this little serrated steak knife seemed to work better in without squishing the dough too much. So I get them all cut up into little rounds and get the pan filled up. And you know what? I forgot to count them. Let's see, 1, 2. Oh, I changed from 2 to 3. I think I'll put these 3 deep instead of 2 deep. Actually, that was from 4 to 3, not from 2 to 3. So let's see, let's count how many we're putting in there. We've got 6, 7, 8. 8 so far there. As I continue cutting, I'll get them all cut and placed in the pan. They are looking good. Okay, so we've got 9, 10, 11, 12, and in between there we're going to go 13 and 14. Now I'm going to put the towel back over them and let these sit so that I can let them rise. Okay, those are not too bad. We'll take them over here to the stove and let me set the oven or the timer for 14 minutes. It should be 13 to 17 minutes. So I set it for 14 and I'll look at it then and see how we're doing. Okay, my 14 minutes beeped at me. So we will take this out of the oven. And it looks like it's done. I'm going to set it up here for just a little bit. While that's cooling down, we need to make our frosting. That goes on top of it. Oh, you can hear me crunching here. Sorry about that. And you can, I don't know if you can hear the rain, but it's pouring down as I speak. Anyway, I put Splenda in here. I was going to put the cream cheese in first and get it melted, but my hands got ahead of my brain. I'll get my cream cheese open. And I kind of was intending to do about half of this, but it was kind of hard to get half of that out, so it's a little less than half. Sticky, sticky. Okay. So I put that in the, I wiped my hands off and put that in the microwave for about 15 seconds. And then we'll get it all stirred up. And I'm going to put a little bit of milk, and I probably got a little more milk than I needed. So I ended up putting a little more Splenda in there to thicken it up a little bit. But it ended up being just the right amount for the amount of rolls that I had. So it was okay. Gosh, I'd be surprised if you can't hear that rain coming down, but I don't know how well the microphone on my device picks up those kind of noises. We'll get this all stirred up good. And I was just thinking, when I eat cinnamon rolls, I like it to have orange flavor. I'm going to look and see. Yes, I've got some powdered orange powder. This was made out of orange rinds. Orange zest, I guess you would call it, only just after you take the peeling off of the orange, you dry it and then squish it up in the coffee grinder and powder it up, and it's get good for this icing. Okay, I brought the cinnamon rolls over here. They're still warm, but that's good. I kind of want the icing to kind of fall down in there. Putting a good spoonful on each roll. I would say these are probably not the worst rolls that I've ever made. They're not the best one. Well, they may be the best ones. No, I think they're probably not the best ones, but they're not too bad. The consistency of the bread part of it is actually pretty good. They're not as gooey as I would have liked. And part of that's just because I'm using sugar-free-ish things like Splenda and monk fruit and what have you, but they look good. So let me try one. Okay, got the little one out of the corner. Not bad. Okay, not bad, not bad. Finger licking good. Well, we got a little burnt on the bottom, but that didn't detract from the flavor of the rest of it too much. As you can see, the inside is a pretty good texture. They look like cinnamon rolls. Like I said, not as gooey as I would have liked, but that's because of the sugar-free. Sugar-free is never as gooey as the real thing. But what can you expect when you try to eat healthy? Okay, enough cinnamon roll talk for today. I'll finish eating my little cinnamon roll here in a little bit. But I want to make sure that I wish you a wonderful day. Hold tight to God's hand. He will hold tight to yours. Let his love and blessings, every part of God, flow into every part of you. And I will see you on my next video. This is Darlene from Darlene's Garden and Home, saying bye for now.